But one of the guys that get a lot of credit is Steve Blackman for Muscular development. I mean, those guys have done an extraordinary job for years and years and years to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote strength, to promote bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, and all of those kind of things. So the contributions they made is gigantic, and I hail them for that.
Shawn Ray here at Meet the Athletes at the Arnold Classic 29th anniversary. I'm joined with the senior editor, Peter McGough, and our online editor, Ron Harris. Guys, it's been a long day. The first opening day here in Columbus, Ohio. It started off with the women over at the amateurs going through their prejudging, and of course the finals will be Saturday on the main stage. But right now we've got some athletes that were meeting their fans, Peter. This is one of the traditions that Arnold Schwarzenegger has here in Columbus, Ohio, where the fans can actually come down, get autographs, and take pictures. Don't have a big list in the open category, but we do have some guys that potentially could rise to the occasion. Most notorious is Cedric McMillan, who was first runner-up a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 10 guys in the lineup, which is the smallest lineup ever for the Arnold. And unusually, you know, there isn't a guy from the top 6 of the Olympia. With that, you think, oh, it's not a great field. But it's a very interesting field when you look at Cedric, Dallas, Lionel, Juan Morel, some big guys in there.
Absolutely.
A very interesting contest.
And of course, Fouad Abiad coming off that leg injury, still in the competition. The 212 looks to be very interesting because we have the defending champion, Hidetada Yamagishi, defending that title, but he's got to go through a few other guys to actually repeat on that title.
Yeah, you talk about interesting. I think the 212 lineup this year is more interesting than the Open. You have the past 2 champions of the Arnold 212, Jose Raymond, Hide Yamagishi, and then you've got this new guy, Ahmad Ashkanani, who came out of nowhere. A year ago, he wasn't even a pro. Turned pro at the Arnold Australia Amateur Show, won his first pro show, goes in the Olympia, beats everybody except Flex Lewis.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting because even though he did beat these other guys, you still have other top guys to worry about. David Henry, Guy Cisternino, Charles Dixon. It's an intense lineup. It's all the top 212 Olympia guys except for Flex Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely. I was there when Ashkanani won over in Australia, and he did exactly that. He came out and beat everybody except James Flex Lewis, which will prove to be an interesting lineup. But he's got to beat Hidetada to get instant credibility. But coming into this contest, is this a walkaway win for Cedric McMillan, or has Dallas McCarver got something to prove?
Well, I mean, Cedric is pretty much a complete product. He's saying he's going to be 20 pounds heavier than he was last year, and he's saying he's going to have more detail. If that's the case, that's a phenomenal physique. Right. He's better, he's more complete than Dallas. Dallas is still a work in progress. I think you've got to sort of put Cedric in pole position. You know, 48 hours out, how do we know? They could turn up looking like supermen or washerwomen. You know, we'll never know. So, Cedric, you know, he's more complete, his physique flows better, and it'll be an interesting, and they are really big guys in this contest.
Well, I mean, it would be very interesting if we see the Cedric of a year ago. A Cedric 20 pounds heavier at probably close to 40, if not 40 years old. I don't know that it's realistic that he's going to look better 20 pounds heavier at this stage when, in fact, he could have been a little bit tighter last year. He got beat by a Kai Green who dried out.
And not only that, we're not mentioning Lionel Bayeki. And Lionel at a couple of shows, Arnold Brazil, and it was at the Arnold South Africa. You know, when he's on, he's very tough to beat. Very complete physique. He reminds me a lot of Flex Wheeler with the round, full muscle bellies. Great structure. He's not someone to write off. If either Cedric or Dallas is not on their game 100%. This could be Lionel's big win.
Well, we know that Lionel ended the year at the final pro show out in San Marino with a victory, and he's a guy that's got that thick skin. You know, there's always a question about whether or not he's going to be dry enough, and whether or not he's had enough time from December till now to hold on to that peak, thin that skin out. His hamstrings are a little slight, his calves aren't that good, but when he's on, he's got those very round muscle that give the illusion of a Kai Green-like body.
Yeah, when he's full, he's spectacular. He's got that detail. As you say, the hams and calves don't match up with the rest. But I think he gets over-penalised for it. It's like, the calves, and that's the end of it. But there's more body parts in bodybuilding than calves and hams, and I think it's a raw deal.
And there's more people in this show besides Cedric, Dallas, and Lionel. Who else have we got on that lineup? We know Fouad Abiad's coming through, and we got Juan Morel. Now, Juan Morel won the New York Pro Championships, and he's been absent for a while. Yeah,
I mean, he tried a lot more contests last year and then decided to shut it all down. He didn't go on and try and qualify for the Olympia. He knew it wasn't working. He's taken the time off. So he's had a real good long run into this based on previous years. So that guy's career since he turned pro has basically been on an upward curve. We'll see if he can continue that after the little bit of a dip last year.
Who else we got on this lineup list? We do have women. We don't want to forget the women. We got the women's. Okay, yeah. Max Charles, like you mentioned, a former USA champion. Of course, we got Luke Sandow, Will Harris, the elder statesman of it, and Vitaly Fativ. But getting back to that 212 division, Hidetada has got to lay down the law on Ashkanani, I imagine, if he's going to be a threat of any sort come the Olympia.
Well, here's the thing, is at this show in particular, posing is 1/3 of the score. Ahmad, great physique, one of the best, obviously, but very amateurish poser right now. I did talk to his trainer, Ahmad Asghar, last week, said they've been working very hard on it. You know, they have a great crew over there. They have a lot of experienced amateurs, pros that train out of that Oxygen gym. So he's got some good resources, but I don't know how much he's going to improve his posing in that span of time, whereas he's a master. If he's not the best in the sport, he's the best in the 212 as far as posing. Just classical, graceful transitions, everything's just spot on. Well, you're not going to beat Hide as a poser.
And we're going to find out Friday because it starts tomorrow.
Yeah, and let's not forget David Henry. He's a phenomenal bodybuilder.
And the first 202 Olympian.
Yeah, and he got 5th, I think, at the two. I thought he should have been higher. So to me, he's always competitive, and he's got such great shape and balance and detail that nobody else has got. So if he gets the first shake, you know, he could come through.
Yeah, you can't write him off. The legs are a little slight. The back is the best in the business. He's got some of the best arms and the pecs and abs. Yeah. So that 212 is going to be one to watch for. That's going to happen Friday. And, of course, the open guys are going to start on Saturday with the finals being Saturday. But we also have some women. Of course, we have Oksana Grishina, a 3-time Olympia champion and defending Miss International champion, coming here to try to defend her title. And on the bikini side, we know India Paulino is back, and she's a former Olympia champion and international champion.
Victoria Watts, we interviewed her earlier, two-time Olympia and defending international champion. She's going to be very tough to beat. Absolutely. So this weekend has some real heavy hitters in it.
And of course, we're going to see the Hall of Fame guys get inducted. To Big Lou Ferrigno, along with Miss Betty Wieters getting in there, Herschel Walker, the football great, Big Bill Kazmaier, and a few other things going on here. We've got a kids fair, we've got powerlifting, we've got strongman, the Arnold Classic weekend in its 29th year starts tomorrow right here in Columbus, Ohio at the Greater Convention Center, and Muscular Development will be on the ground getting paparazzi photographs, videos, and interviews with some of the celebrities in the house this weekend. But for right now, Peter McGough, Ron Harris, I'm Shawn Ray, MuscularDevelopment.com.